The big thing that I'm worried about at the moment is actually the rise in commercial tensions between the US and China. And we're seeing an acceleration of the decoupling of the two economies, actually driven by both sides. Both the US and China are trying to force companies and to choose as much as they don't want to. We've just seen China release its measures to restrict the purchase of Tesla cars by a large number of state-owned enterprises and other sensitive industries, and that's because it views electric vehicles as a strategic industry, doesn't want the US to dominate that technology. And on the other hand, the US has passed supply chain orders banning companies who do business with the US government from using products from companies like Huawei or Hikvision. It's getting increasingly difficult to do business clearly across both jurisdictions. And with the US supply chain review coming out, we know that the only direction that further restrictions are going to go is they'll get tougher, and we can expect more and more regulations impacting on those supply chains. And I think that's going to be the biggest international impact of these tensions.
Right. Right, and to that point, Biden was saying that one of China's goals is to become the wealthiest country in the world, the most powerful country in the world, but he's not going to let that happen on his watch. But is that ultimately a losing battle?
I think it's very unlikely that that China will get to US levels of GDP per capita. So that's our measure of wealth for, at least the next 50 years, if ever. So I think the US is going to maintain its status as being richer than China. But of course, ultimately, its economy will become smaller just because China's population is so much bigger. COVID-19 has brought forward the date at which we think the Chinese economy gets bigger than that of the US in market exchange rates. We did have that in 2034, pre-pandemic. Now we expect that to happen a couple of years earlier in around 2032. Now, it doesn't really mean anything in particular when your dollar value of GDP takes over, but it's a bit of a milestone. In terms of power, China is going to be the other very large power alongside the US. Who is more powerful than the other? It is going to depend region by region. And I think in Asia, it probably will be very difficult for the US to remain the most powerful country through the 2030s, but they're going to remain evenly matched for quite a long time.